Unless you live under a rock, you most likely have already seen the new, cool Space Wolves Terminators that Games Workshop showed us this week. I personally can't wait to get them and build some of them, especially the old chap with an assault cannon. And today I decided to build a Primaris Wolfguard Terminator, pretty much combining some Primaris Terminator bits with some older Space Wolves Terminators bits in order to produce something really cool. Let's see what kind of stuff we can assemble using these kits and some other kits too. As I already mentioned, we are going to use a Primaris Terminator torso for the look. We're gonna use Deathwing Assault Dark Angels Army set because that is what I have for the generic Terminators. We skip the part with the Deathwing Knights and we go directly to an assembly instruction set for the Terminators, normal Terminators. These are just generic Primaris Terminators and we're gonna build a torso of this pal as the base for our Primaris Wolfguard Terminator. As we can see, we would need to start with the lower part of the torso and the legs. We would need bits 56, 61, and 58. Let's start with the right leg. We have a look here. This leg should be assembled like this, and we're gonna glue it now. And this is our right leg in place. Now let's find the left one, 61. This is our left leg. It should be sitting over here like this. And let's glue it. And now we have both legs assembled. Let's move to the upper part of the torso. We would need bits 55 and 57. This is our bit 55, back of the torso, and it should be sitting over here along these lines. A very well-defined look. And this is our torso so far. And now let's see how the front part of the torso, bit 57, is supposed to be sitting here. It should be along these lines. Let's glue it. And this is our torso almost assembled. Now we would need to add some additional plating. Let's start with the legs. We would need bit 60 and 63. This is my bit 60. It should be sitting on the right leg, over here, along these lines. And this is the plating 60 in place. Now to 63 for this leg. This is our bit 63. That should be sitting on the left leg, over here, like this. Now the legs are assembled. Looking very cool. We're almost done with the base. Now additional plating 59 and 62. Let's start with the right one, 59. This is our bit 59. It has a look over here. And it should be sitting on this bump along these lines, like this. Go into glue it. Here we go. This is our 59. In place. And now 62, that should be sitting over here. Bit 62 is cleaned up too. This is the look that it has. And it should be sitting on this bump over here, along these lines. Wow, this plastic is amazing. It just melts perfectly with the plastic glue. And this is, my friends, how our base torso is gonna look like. This is gonna be a Primaris Terminator torso. And now we're gonna add some Space Wolves specific bits. We're gonna start with the right arm. It took me a while to clean up all the mold line from this weapon and to drill some holes. Fairly decent holes this time. And I really like this bolter because it has a lot of Space Wolves things over here. It has a gem, it has a skull, it has this pelt. Very cool looking bolter. Otherwise I would just go for a newer one, but this looks so cool. Let's see how it should be sitting on the torso. It should be along these lines. I think I will have to fix a little bit this shoulder. We'll have to remove a little bit over here. Now it feels a bit better. He is gonna be holding the bolter like this, and I'm going to glue it. And this is gonna be our right arm position. Looking very, very cool. Let's give this some rest and let's continue with the left arm. For the left arm, I decided to go with this really beautifully crafted chain fist from the original Space Wolves Terminators kits, the one that is still available today. And it should be attached over here along these lines, I believe, because he is shooting and he is fairly relaxed with the left arm. As you can see, there is kind of a look here, but it does not really fit our mini because the torso is from a Primaris Space Marine. So I will remove a little bit of stuff from here. So I have cleaned up a little bit this part, and now it sits a bit better over here. And I'm going to glue it. And this is gonna be our left hand in place. Now let's add some shoulder pads. Let's start with the right one. For the right shoulder pads, I selected this shoulder pad from Space Wolves Terminators kits. It looks amazing, has all the Space Wolves character style. And let's see how it should be attached over here. It should be sitting along these lines. And this is our right shoulder pad in place. Looks incredibly cool. Now let's do the same for the left one. And this is our left shoulder pad, with Crux Terminators stylized with the wolf skull, presumably. Should be sitting over here, along these lines. Have to notice that even though we use the old shoulder pads and the old hands, they don't really fit that well together, which is a bit interesting. And that is our left shoulder pad in place. Looking incredibly cool. I think we are still missing a head here. For the heads, I decided to go with these angry heads from the original Terminator kits. Looks very Space Wolfy. Let's see if we can put it in place somehow over here. It should be somewhat along these lines. I think this is gonna be my position of the head. He is kinda shooting to his right and looking roughly in that direction. This head is really not suited for the new torso. I had to remove the bottom part of it, and I think this is the best I can achieve with this head. Actually looks quite nice. And I still think we could do a little bit of more decorations. Even though he looks fairly Space Wolfy, but I think we can do slightly better. For starters, a lot of Space Wolves have some sort of pelts dangling in front of them. I think we can alleviate that by adding some sort of decoration like this, but then maybe this side is a bit more suitable for this kind of stuff. Actually, you know what? I think I'm gonna put this over here, just because I can. This is gonna be like a purity seal, but something different. The problem is that the modern instruction set does not really show us where this thing should go. In my book, it should go anywhere, and that is why I put it here. And here we're gonna put something else. Let's use this nice talisman from the Space Wolves upgrade sprue, Primaris Space Wolves upgrade sprue. I think it would be sitting perfectly where we were about to add the previous decoration. Like somewhere here, like this. What do you guys think? I think it's perfect. And that is gonna be our decoration in place. One more thing that I think is gonna be beneficial here is a tilting shield. I took this thing from Space Wolves Terminators kits, the existing one. I'm not entirely sure if this is a tilting shield. It looks like one to me, but it has some peculiar shape. I strongly suspect that it is supposed to be used as a tilting shield, but I don't know for sure because the instruction set does not mention this bit at all. So let's see if we can add this tilting shield over here, somewhat like this. I think I'm gonna try to glue it. And I think this thing works as a tilting shield, okay. And now we need to drop this pal on the 40mm base. We have a 40mm base here. And this is our miniature, my friends. It took me roughly an hour to assemble it. We used 3 different kits here. First of all, we of course used the Deathwing Assault for Primaris Terminator torso. You can use any Primaris Terminator torso. It's basically standard Primaris Terminator torso that is in this box. I just used it because I have it, but any Primaris Terminator would do. Then we used the arms and the decorations from the Space Wolves Terminators kit, the existing one, the old one. We're about to get a very, very cool new one. We used a right hands, a left hands, tilting shields, this kind of decoration, the heads. All that came from the old Space Wolves Terminators. And we used this small gem thing over here from a Primaris Space Wolves upgrade sprue, which I think is a little nice touch over here. This mini looks fairly cool. I think it is quite good compared to what we would have with the original Space Wolves Terminators kits. I really don't like their legs. I briefly considered to use another front part of the torso. However, this part of the torso goes really bad with the Primaris back of the torso. There are gonna be visible gaps under his armpits, and that is why I never opted for this one. This one looks very cool though. I'm really looking into having something similar for the new kits. As you can see, this mini is fairly easy to build. It does not require partial assembly for painting. Everything is accessible. Looks very, very cool. And now let's take a look how this mini sits next to some other miniatures. This is a Blood Angels Primaris Terminator that we built last time. It is also kitbashed from the 2 major kits, the Primaris Terminator kits and Blood Angels Terminators. We did not get any new Blood Angel Terminators, and it does not seem like we are getting any anytime soon. That is why I decided to build this pal. That is how he stands next to a Space Wolf Terminator that we have built today. They look incredibly cool. I should really build some of them for my Death Watch. I don't really have any Firstborn Space Wolf Terminators, that is why I'm gonna use the Blood Angels Firstborn Terminator. That is how he stands next to the pal that we built today. As you can see, this pal on the right is much shorter, and that is the main reason I'm trying to use Primaris Terminator torsos to make them look better. That is how they stand together. This is how this pal compares to a Dark Angels character that we have built some time ago. As we can see, they both are of Primaris size, even though they are using some of the older bits, especially this pal is using the older cape. Works perfectly. And of course, Space Marine Heroes Series 2 sits somewhere in between. They are a bit shorter than Primaris, but a bit taller than the Firstborn. And they look very cool because of their dynamic poses. The standard Primaris Terminator poses are a little bit boring. And that's a wrap for today, my friends. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It will help you to catch more content like this in the future. Share your thoughts on this mini and on new Terminators in the comments below. Check out the video that you see now on your screen. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.